you're supposed to feel a little existential dread, you know? So, Middletown by Will Eno, directed by Jessica Carmichael. That's what we're working with here today. Middletown is a deeply moving and funny play exploring the universe of a small American town. As a friendship develops between longtime resident John Dodge and a new arrival, Mary Swanson, the lives of the inhabitants of Middletown intersect in strange and poignant ways in a journey that takes them from the local library to outer space and points in between. It touches on themes of existentialism, mundanity, new birth, death, loneliness, voyeurism, the funny peculiarities of life and time and space. There's a lot going on. It's a play. So let me tell you a little bit about Mary. I'm playing Mary Swanson. I describe Mary as a little nervous. I describe her as very polite. She's very organized and prepared and wants to do her research. She worries about whether or not she'll be a good mom. She's also playful, and she likes to make jokes, and her loneliness leads her to want to make a friend, any friend, and that's what brings her to John. Like I said, there's elements of existentialism, of surrealism, of absurdism, so it really gets your gears turning, and it also makes you feel those things in your own life. Which is interesting, which I think is the point. Like, you're supposed to feel a little existential dread, you know? You're supposed to feel a little, like, what's real? What's even real? So my head feels very full of trying to, like, encapsulate this whole world and try and embody this new person, this new character, with all their own thoughts and feelings and fears and hopes and etc. And usually the process also requires lots of research. So most of my research has been about pregnancy and about labor. And that was, I think it's probably a good idea for everyone to know what labor looks like. And God knows there's a lot of birthing vlogs on YouTube, so just be careful. But it's also, the research part of the process is also lots of fun because it's something really concrete you can focus on. You can just like gain all the facts, and it like deepens your knowledge, and it makes you feel more confident when you're speaking for another character, speaking for another person. And my heart is grateful that we stuck with this show despite its more challenging content. Grateful for my classmates, and especially Evan, who's my most consistent scene partner. He's playing John. I'm grateful for Jessica because she's been one of the best teachers and directors I've worked with before, and I feel like I'm learning a lot. I'm also, in regards to Mary, I feel a little blue. Not just because there's a ton of blue in the costume design, but also blue in the sense of having to think a lot about her loneliness, the distance between her and her husband, the longing she feels for connection with John, the anxiety she talks about, the sleeplessness she talks about and experiences, having to go through pregnancy basically alone, and just like dealing with all of those changes without a solid support system. So I'm feeling a little blue, and that's good. And that's good because that's how Mary's feeling. So it's all research and it all informs, is what I tell myself. One thing I'm thinking a lot about is just that Mary's constantly wondering if she looks like a mother, if she looks like someone's mom, or if she looks like the kind of person who would do this and who can do this. And so I really relate to that, because obviously I'm 21. I'm pretty young. I have never given birth. I'm not a mom. Do I look like a mom? Will it be believable to people who see it? So I'm trying to take those questions and channel it into the character, because I think she's also feeling a little bit of imposter syndrome. So I just finished rehearsal for this scene right before she gives birth. So it was a lot of contractions, a lot of huffing and puffing, and if pretending to give birth is as hard as actually giving birth, then God help us all. No, I'm just kidding. It was lots of fun. And Emma's doing a fun thing where her character chews gum. So the nurse is chewing gum, and I'm ugh, I'm giving birth. I'm having a baby. It's a good actor question, are we allowed to embody things that we haven't experienced ourselves? Am I allowed to be pregnant and go into labor and give birth when I've never done any of those things? And if I do it, will I do it justice and do it right? So I'm thinking about all those things. Today was a long day, but we have officially blocked the whole show, which means that we've gone through every scene and we've put it up on its feet. And that prepares us to be able to run through it all. So that's very exciting. Yeah, the ending of the play is very complex and difficult and sad, and it involves exhaustion and suicide and endurance and guilt and new life and new beginnings and family, lots of things. But we're in a good place, and I'll see you tomorrow.